So then, we finally meet Yuuran of the Goha siblings, plus Gakuto's new kawaii anime girl, Kimi Luna, takes center stage in what was a decent episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens. Hello everyone and welcome to Dueling with Downton, and today let's talk all things episode 57 of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens anime series. Gakuto vs Yuuran, Millennium Shield vs Kimi Luna, a clash of smarts and defenses. So let's not waste any more time and jump into the review itself. Starting off with the character of focus, Yuuran. This character started the episode off rather interestingly, in hardly speaking and seemed to take orders from Granny Drone, instead of actually doing the dueling himself. But wait, he was dueling for himself. It's not like Granny Drone did the card laying or told Yuuran what to put down, set or summon. Nor did she know what he had in hand. So in that respect, at the end of the day, it was still Yuuran dueling. Now I think the main reason as to why Granny Drone was so persistent in giving Yuuran directions was because of Yuuran's ability to analyze a person's thought process. After all, when we are hyper-focused on something, we do tend to lose track of things going on around us. A possible reason as to this would be maybe when Gakuto's having his turn, or Yuuran's having his turn. Yuuran is in hyper-focus mode, trying to predict what Gakuto's next moves are going to be. So while that process is going on, maybe actions like activating traps or calling monsters is something that's not on his mind. So he needs that constant reminder. It's useful for him to have. So another slight kind of area or angle we can look at this at, maybe going down the theoretical route, could be Yuuran has slight functionality empowerment. By this I mean maybe basic and simple actions are just hard for him to do, or remember to do, as a trade-off for him having this crazy analytical ability. Of course, Yuuran can analyze a person, read their thoughts and see what process and actions they're going to take next, so that he can counter-strike with confidence and with precision. So maybe that trade-off is that basic things that someone like you and me would find easy to do, Yuuran just forgets about them. He's too smart to even remember to, I don't know, set a monster or tie his shoelaces. You get the idea. Now I hope that's not really the case, as it means that Yuuran is somewhat incapable of doing everything and things for himself, making the Granny Drone kind of like a second part of his character, making her necessary for Yuuran to function as a human being. I hope this is not the case, but hey, it's a theoretical kind of angle to look at this, and I might just be kind of talking nonsense. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. But overall, Yuuran is the silent but deadly type of character, waiting patiently for his moment to strike after reading the situation going on around him. I do think out of the Goha siblings though, he might be my least favourite out of the siblings, simply because his personality didn't excite me too much and I wasn't that entertained by his character. She is intriguing, but when compared to the other siblings, I find them just a bit more fascinating and a bit more interesting to watch. As for Gakuto, I was surprised by seeing how he acted within this episode. He was really overconfident, and having confidence is a good thing, but Gakuto was a bit too full of himself within this episode. Yuuran was hiding his true potential and power. He was giving off this kind of weak personality and vibe, and Gakuto fell for that hook, line and sinker, thinking that he had the easy win because Yuuran came across as weak in Gakuto's eyes and mind. Apart from that though, it was good that Gakuto stepped up and tried helping the Kendo team after they stupidly called Tiger by her real name, resulting in all of them getting roared out of the building and bruised up and banged up just by Tiger shouting, which, wow Tiger, you're OP. Awesome. Lastly on Gakuto, I love the art style used for his summoning animations. Visually, they were all stunning, And I just like that classic Japanese art style that they have going on in the background. I think that looks amazing. So I'm very glad we got to see that again. So then, sticking with our core four, seeing Rook acting over the top yet again and cocky in the beginning of the episode made me really want to see him lose a duel and get knocked off his high horse. Think about it. How much would a loss shatter his self-confidence? Only then would it allow him to grow and hopefully mature within the future. I know that sounds harsh, but still, Rook being this overconfident, overbearing and cocky character, I just absolutely hate it. It gets on my nerves. But at the same time, I do want to see him fall off his high horse and develop and grow, because I think that could be quite fun to see. Now then, for me, Roman was quite interesting as well. I love seeing the fact that she has a fire still lit within her that makes her want to get a point back for her team, after she feels sad and upset about losing to Yuka, giving the Goha siblings a point within this war against them. Plus, seeing Roman get flustered, annoyed and angry at the granny drone within the episode was actually kind of cool as well. It felt wholesome. This action almost reminded me of a rebellious teen not wanting to listen or get lectured by their parent or granny. This though does make me think that we are going to get Roman versus Granny Drone in the future, instead of Roman versus Yuka in a rematch. Because simply put, I don't feel like there's a reason for Yuka to duel Roman again. I just don't see it. Unless they play to the baseball gag again like they did in Yuka's respective episode. But then that would feel repetitive. So hopefully they don't do that. Although I do like both Roman and I love Yuka's character, I like to see them duel again, but the actions in this episode kind of sway me to believe that's not going to happen. So then, as for the duel itself, it was fun. Certainly a different style of dueling than what we've seen from Sevens in recent duels. Yuuran was using counter traps in order to counter Gakuto's moves and deal him damage in the process. This felt unique to Yuuran, so that I really did love. And seeing a trapped version of Sword and Shield was surprising, yet created the question in my mind, which is, why haven't we seen this before? This would have been awesome in other duels, in all of Yu-Gi-Oh!, not just in Sevens. Like, it seems like something so simple, yet it could greatly help out characters from different anime shows within Yu-Gi-Oh!, of course, if Sword and Shield was actually a trap card. Like, there was tons of situations in where, say, in GX or 5Ds, someone could have used the trap card Sword and Shield and beaten their opponent instead of losing. And to top it off, it's been a very long time, well, according to my own memory, that we've seen a character win while their opponent was attacking them. This I really did like, and it kind of reminded me of Marek winning against Joey in the Battle City tournament, where obviously Joey was attacking with Gilfrey the Iron Knight, and Joey collapsed, making Marek the winner. Of course, the situation there was different than here, but again, Yuuran managed to beat Gakuto while Gakuto was actually attacking him. This gave the episode a bit more of a fresh feeling and a more exciting and interesting vibe to it, giving it something that makes it stand out from other episodes. This, I thought, was cool, and it went in line with Yuuran's sort of playstyle of counter-attacking and waiting for the right moment to surprise your opponent and take him down. Now then, was it me, or has Gakuto been taking tips from Garleant? As Gakuto showed similar moves slash playstyles to Garleant's playstyle, in forcing your opponent from a face down defense position to face up attack position in order for you to be in a good position to attack them when they're at their weakest. So Gakuto in this sense is learning from his past duels and implementing those teachings within his current playstyle, developing the Sugetsu style of dueling. This I really like because it's so creative and it's totally something I can see Gakuto's character doing. It's in line with the character in being this character that studies and kind of grows and implements things that he learns into his daily life. So why wouldn't he implement the things he learns during duels into his dueling? Makes sense. Now I do think it's likely we are going to see a rematch between Gakuto and Yuuran in the future. After all, Gakuto is most likely going to duel again this arc. What's the point in showing Kimi Luna in the opening with Gakuto if she's not going to make some more screen time? That's my logic to it. Plus there's been a rivalry brewing between the two, and I feel like Gakuto needs to get the win over Yuuran in the end. Okay, so finally let's talk about Yuo, as his character again seemed visibly annoyed when Yuuran. Now then, finally, let's talk about Yuo. This character seemed visibly annoyed and frustrated at Yuuran winning, almost as if he wanted Gakuto to win so that an annoying obstacle in Yuuran, a sibling, would be out of the picture frame. Now, in terms of whether or not Yuuran would side with Yuo, it doesn't look very likely. It looks like Yuo wants to do things on his own, and he doesn't want any siblings around. He's still acting very hostile and is belittling his other siblings. He does that again in this episode. Yuo seems very reliant on this mystery card, so whatever it is going to be something big, something massive. But at the same time, when you're so reliant on one card, once it's been put out of play, banished, or sent to the graveyard or destroyed, I can see it to the point where Yuo is acting very overconfident, very arrogant, because he has this special card that no one else has, that only he can wield. And once it finally gets destroyed, he's just going to break and shatter, just like the card does itself. Oh, that's going to be fun to see. But until then, let's enjoy what Sevens presents to us. So overall, I thought this episode was a decent episode, and hopefully the next one is also a good one in of itself as well. Based on the preview, it does look a bit comedic and a bit silly, but I'm always open to seeing what Sevens can offer and present. I did miss the comedy skit at the end of this episode. We had said got the ending, which I don't mind the ending. I just find it kind of boring with the visuals. Music's nice at least. But those are my thoughts on this episode. I'm interested to see what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Let me know everything you want to say about the episode itself. And of course, I do hope you've enjoyed this review. If you did, hit like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And of course, I'll be seeing you next time. Have a great day. Alligator. Matane. Goodbye.